tonight's number is 60. Yes, indeed, America, it is true. I hope you're okay. How about you? That didn't even rhyme. It didn't work. But anyway, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and fellow Republicans push the trigger on the nuclear option this past Thursday, gunning the filibuster rule for Supreme Court nominees after Democrats blocked Donald Trump's appointment of conservative pick Neil Gorsuch to the courts. Democrats argue that Gorsuch, a Colorado federal judge, is simply too conservative for their taste. They criticize Republicans for the way they treated Barack Obama's nominee to the Supreme Court, Merrick Garland, who was denied both a hearing or a vote. And now the game of chicken has ended and the eggs have hatched. And I think one could argue that Republicans have won and the American people have lost. Rich Webster.
Sure. So I kind of have two things I want to touch on here. First, for the uninitiated, Richard, why don't you give us a rundown of the nuclear option? Yes,
so the nuclear option, this is what this means. So in 2013, it meant that any appointment, any Supreme Court appointment, any political appointment, any cabinet secretary, so have you, as well as any bill that's not a reconciliation bill, is subject to what they call a cloture vote. And the cloture vote is a vote that says we can vote. That's all it is. It's a vote that says we can vote to end the debate.
Right.
Right. And usually to ascertain that vote, it is 60 members of the Senate come together. And usually the reason why that vote is there is because what you want to do, it builds consensus, right? So you need, even if you have a majority of 50, you need an additional 10 senators to join with you to end debate. And not all the time. People vote to end debate and then vote against the bill. Right? People will vote to continue the debate and vote for the bill. But basically, it's a stalling tactic.
Right. So that's why you hear, stories of senators talking on the floor for 15 hours, showing numerous charts, reading from Dr. Seuss books.
And that's what we call the filibuster. And the filibuster is a parliamentary rule that says, and the filibuster is a little bit more complicated, right? So they fast track a lot. So back in the day, like the longest filibuster that was ever recorded in Senate history was done by Strong Thurmond against the Civil Rights Act of '65.
It's a good look right there.
Or, excuse me, the Civil Rights of '68.
Having that on your resume.
Or, I can't remember. 65. It was 65. And he filibustered for 24 hours straight. And then after and filibuster rule requires that you can't touch the desk, you can't go pee. There's all these rules to it. But anyway.
Well, how do they pee?
They don't pee.
Pee in a bottle?
They don't pee.
There's risk bladder disease?
Yeah.
Wow.
How much you care about the issue. But beyond that,
You really cared about not having
sure that
civil
blacks,
rights.
Yeah, blacks stay at the back of the bus. Anyway, in a nutshell. So that's where we are right now. Now, with that, truth be told, I'm going to give you the full story. So Republicans have used this 60 vote threshold to punish Democrats quite a bit under President Obama.
Yep.
I want to say the number is 79 different appointees, judicial as well as cabinet appointees and undersecretaries, that were held up because Republicans knew they couldn't get the 60 votes. So they've abused this rule. Harry Reid in 2013 made some reform to the rule that says just judges, cannot be filibustered. Mm-hmm. And judges and cabinet appointments would just need a majority, 51 votes to pass. But not the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has always been protected because they think that is the quote-unquote nuclear option, which you can't go backwards.
Right.
So what we saw this week happen was Republicans say, we want Neil Gorsuch. Democrats say, we're holding the line. We're not going to give you 50 votes. And Republicans say, okay, cool. And so they voted for the nuclear option. Now, once you vote for it, you don't go backwards.
Right.
And that's what makes this so hard. And I mean, to some extent, the Senate has been a very deliberatory body. It's been a body that was able to come to consensus because of this particular rule. And now this rule is no more.
Yeah, so the significance moving forward, I mean, listen, it's nuclear until you get another batch of senators in there that might switch it back.
That rarely ever goes backwards. I'm being very honest with you. I mean, I think maybe if Democrats get the majority with the President Trump, they might say, okay, we're going to bring it back to sort of hedge just in case, Ruth Bader Ginsburg coughs or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's a significant thing. So just on the background, and listen, these stories don't come out of nowhere, right? This is something we've been tracking and following for a long time, and something that I wanted to mention is the back history and what I consider to be a very smart Republican hedge, okay? So when Hillary was running for president, it looked like she was going to win. All the polling was out. They made this argument. Merrick Garland was floated by Barack Obama. Now, Merrick Garland, Barack Obama's pick for Supreme Court, was as good as, he was a good deal for the Republicans. If they were going to make the argument that it's going to be a Democrat, but here's a good deal. This guy, you know, had a record of not being too far to the left. He was reasonable on some issues, independent thinker. This is a good deal. So you think, okay, the Republicans are going to have a hearing. But when you look at it, it's a win-win for them. So what they did was, instead of allowing for a hearing and potentially making Merrick Garland the new Supreme Court justice, they said, we're going to hedge our bets here. What we're going to do is we're going to just deny it until the election, and by some grace of God, Donald Trump wins, then we get a Republican back on the seat. Now, if Donald Trump doesn't win and Hillary wins, Democrats are weak, right? Even if Hillary pushes a more progressive candidate, they could still decide, screw it, we're gonna push back again, and then maybe the Democrats change their mind and they say, fine, we'll give you another more centrist Supreme Court justice. So I think that this hedge for them was all reward, low risk, right?
Now, I agree there, and I think I have two responses, and I almost blame, you can't really blame Democrats. I sort of do. We didn't run, Republicans ran on the Supreme Court.
Yep.
They made this their issue. They were like, if Hillary Clinton wins, bump all the rest of stuff, she's going to fill Scalia's seat, there's going to be this really liberal court, and they're going to keep abortions, they're going to keep, you know, gay marriage. Like, it's going to be.
They're going to keep all the laws that are already intact.
They're basically going to have. It's going to be a country of sin and damnation, and corporations are going to suffer. We didn't have an argument on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
We didn't make one. And I actually think, and I love President Obama like everybody else, but I feel as though that the other reason why we're here is because Obama should have. I mean, I think we were so. I mean, I think this is a larger progressive problem, right? Like. We were so, we so thought we had it in the bag. We so thought we were going to win that we missed opportunities. Barack Obama, in my opinion, should have put on a recess. He had an opportunity to put on a recess appointment. And what a recess appointment is, it says if, you know, you have an appointee on the floor, and basically, the particulars of the rules, I can't, like, it'd take me too long to explain it, right? But you have, after a certain period of time, there's either a pocket veto or pocket pass, or there's a recess appointment. Mm-hmm. If there's a time of recess, the president can appoint somebody to the court, and then when the recess is over, Republicans can vote to take them off or put up another nominee. Right. Now, if I were President Obama, knowing what I know, and I think knowing what I know now, but I think we should have been bolder anyway, I would have found a black, female, lesbian who's disabled. Who is a jurist.
Who's a judge. Who's a federal judge.
Who's a federal judge. I don't care.
I don't think that person exists.
But here's the thing. The Supreme Court doesn't require you to have a federal judge.
Well, I know it doesn't require you to, but...
No, I'm making a point here.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I would have put her on the court, and I would have said to Republicans, since you don't want to give me Merrick Garland, I'm going to put her on the court.
Yep. Deal with it.
I dare you guys have two options. Option number one, I want you. I really want you. I dare you, I double dare you to take her off the court. I dare you. Please, be my guest. Take her off the court. They wouldn't do it. Republicans wouldn't have the balls in a presidential election year to take off a disabled, black, lesbian woman off the court. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it.
Maybe
and then, or then say to deal with that, and here's the deal. Now, if y'all want her off the court, you have to give me Merrick Garland. If not, but Obama didn't do it, and so here we are. And now what makes this even scarier is I really feel as though, and I said this multiple times, I'm not really sure. Here's the thing. We would have been, like, we were going to get here regardless, in my opinion. I think Republicans at some point in time would have gotten rid of the filibuster rule.
Right.
If not now, then when? I'm not sure if Democrats should have went on the plank for Gorsuch, because it really is a Scalia for Scalia seat.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Anyway,
because
we're
what
off on the
happens
break,
if
folks.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg croaks?
Yeah.
Then we're in trouble. We're really in trouble.